Salutations and good morrow, everyone. Welcome back to another Grounded Update video where today we're talking about patch 8.1. It has officially been released to all platforms, so guys, go out and update your game right now if you guys would like to get access to all of the new features and bug fixes that are going to be in this update. Now, before we go any further, I want to invite everybody to subscribe because only 1/3 of you guys who watch these videos are actually subscribed, and I'd hate for you guys to miss any other Grounded updates that are coming out or any of the other features, news, and development that I push out. But here we go. Let's talk about it a little bit more. So bug fixes, all platforms, top community issues, bases built on certain objects will no longer be considered unsupported on load and will not collapse after being modified. So if you guys had lost your bases throughout the change from 7.0 or 7.2 to 8.0, now in 8.1 that won't happen. So update your game, go back and load your game where you lost your base, and it will not happen. You won't lose your base. You may lose some progress on what you've done already, but you will not lose your base. And I know a lot of people lost their stuff, and I'd hate for them to do that all over again. Clients will no longer randomly fail to register melee and ranged attacks. This is good because this was happening to a lot of my friends who were joining multiplayer with me, and it was causing some superior issues, especially when people were fighting like mosquitoes and bees, and they were getting one-shotted or two-shotted because they weren't actually doing any damage to the bug itself, and they weren't actually being able to block. Okay, reduce lag and hitching when looking at buildings or large bases. This is good. They've optimized this. That means if you have a large base or you join somebody's game where they have a large base, you're going to reduce the lag and hitching when looking at it, which is great. Backpacks that fall through the world for clients will eventually resync back to the correct host position, aka wherever you died is where they're going to be. They're not just going to get shot back over to the entrance anymore. They're actually going to be where you died whenever they decide that they're done falling through the earth, which is good because then it's like, okay, well, I ran back over there. Okay, trail marker for Burgle Quest Weed Killer Peak will now be in the correct location if already existed in your world. If you guys were wondering, if you guys need a little bit of help with this, Weed Killer Peak is actually the top of the Weed Killer sprayer bottle thing, so you could go up there and put down a marker up there for yourself. But yeah, now that's going to actually work. Equipment, items, and resources. Stuffed insects can once again be placed on furniture. So now if you get a chair and you want to put your little stuffed aphid on it, so you have a little aphid buddy to cuddle whenever we can finally sit in our chairs, that is going to be there. Bees aren't as clumsy around flowers and thus will drop pollen less often under creatures. So now I know you guys were talking before. I just made a video on where pollen is. It is hanging on the bottom of bees, but they'll be a little less clumsy, so they won't drop the pollen as often. But if you build yourself an area up to right around where the bee is going to be, when you run up, you can pull the pollen off of their legs without actually aggroing them. So just go ahead and try that out. Okay, photo mode. Hoops' hair and other dangling pieces on chest armor should behave more appropriately in photo mode. So Hoops' hair won't just all of a sudden skyrocket out of nowhere inside of the photo mode anymore, which is pretty good. All right, UI. Hammer build icons are now included in the toggle, trail markers, and backpack icons. So if you don't want to see those hammer icons whenever you're running around, you can now turn them off, which is great. The breath meter and the eat, drink, or die warning elements no longer get stuck on the screen after respawning. The breath icon, the breath meter, happened to me a lot, especially when I died underwater. And then you'd come back in. To fix it, all you had to do is jump underwater and come back out. That fixed it every time. But thankfully, they now got that fixed. The type tool required warning no longer overlaps the harvest resource name on the HUD, which is good because overlapping text is just kind of meh. And then lastly, we have audio reverted to the new day music changes back to the night music to continue to work on this for a future update. Oh man, they changed the... I hope they didn't get rid of the good night music though. They probably took it out. That's a bummer. It is what it is, though. But as always, they state right here, thank you for your reports and continued support while we further develop Grounded. We are working to push out updates to enhance your gaming experience continually. To stay current with commonly reported issues and add or follow their statuses, please visit our Grounded issue tracker. You guys can go ahead and check that out for yourself. And then if you're experiencing an issue that is not listed on the issue tracker, either email us directly at support@obsidian.com or fill out the contact form located in our support site. I would encourage all of you guys who are running into bugs or issues to actually actually go through and do this. This helps us a ton. It helps the developers a ton. It helps us gamers a ton, because then we don't have as many issues and the developers know what they have to fix. You have to remember, they are a small team of folks and we are a very large community that can all come together and to give them all of the issues that we are having. But guys, the last thing that I wanted to do for this video is I actually want to hop over to their feature board, because their feature board has a whole bunch of things that they're currently working on. So if we go down, we can actually see what's in progress. These are approximately a few months off still though. So let's see here. It says additional quality of life improvements, inventory management improvements, which I'm really excited about, and then planned. The roly-poly is coming. Story Act 1, which will probably finish 1.0. That'll be the official release of 1.0.0. That'll probably be the finish of Act 1. Graphic option improvements, which is switching graphics around, which would be good. New full completable story. I'm really happy about the full completable story because we want to be able to get big. Additional crafting stations, probably something to do with those brick buildings that we found. Additional burgle type quests, additional weapon types, which I'm kind of pumped about, maybe the boomerang. Weapon storage management improvements isn't being worked on. Insect pet phase 1 isn't being worked on, and all of these as well are not currently being worked on. They are just planned at the moment. So that includes, additional ant hills, haze environment, sandbox environment, new creature. Actually, I'm going to tell you guys, I think that these are actually in development right now, that they are in progress. I think that this just needs to get updated because we've seen it in the development world. Okay, for future, main features, additional backyard environments, additional creatures and insects, weather, backyard changing events, additional crafting materials, base blueprints, powered buildings, more control over world/settings, base blueprints defenses, base blueprints framework for player generated gameplay, base blueprints higher tier structures, and base blueprints decorations. Future considerations, we are looking into dedicated servers. And then they go on to say everything that they've done so far, which if you guys go through and you actually read through all of this, they have done a lot since this game first came out. We are actually coming up very close. In just a couple months, we're going to be a year since Grounded actually released. So I'm hoping that you guys will join me in liking this video. Make sure you guys subscribe. I do appreciate it. Also, guys, make sure you guys leave me a comment down below that says you watched all the way to the end, and I will heart your comment. Or just tell me what your favorite thing about the recent updates has been, or your favorite update altogether to Grounded, because I'd love to know what everybody thinks and what their favorite thing that's been added to Grounded is. But guys, that is all the time that I've left for this video. Thank you guys all so much for watching, and I'll see all of you guys in the next one.